Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Steven here, Northwest Small Batch Brewing. It is time for a full brew day, and I'll be honest, I'm super excited and stoked because it's been a minute. I have just gotten kind of caught up in trying to get all my videos edited, and sometimes it's harder to get the full brew days edited because it's a lot more footage and editing and stuff to put it together. And even though I have it ready or whatever, it's, you know, anyway, you don't need to know that background. It's coming, it's here. Michelob, who remembers the original Michelob? I'm not talking about the Ultra, I'm talking about the Michelob that came in those sort of hourglass cans, bottles, and had the foil top that went all the way up and around the crown. It's a traditional Czech Pilsner is what it was, and it had a very unique flavor. That probably came from the yeast, I'm not sure, but I decided to see if I can make something like that original Michelob. There's not really anything, someone tell me, I mean, there's one recipe out there on the internet, but I haven't really found anything official, and I do miss it. It was kind of unique. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long because I want to spend more time when I get it done talking about it and seeing what happens. So without a further ado, let's go mill some grain. Come on. I'm using 100% Pilsner malt for this particular batch of beer. Weigh it out to 10.6 pounds for a 5.5 gallon batch. Fill the hopper. Get in there, little guys. Get in there. And mill it up. Let it go. Look at it. Look at it. Would you look at it, mill? Just look at it. Wow, look at that. Alright, trying to mash the grain. I mashed at 149 degrees Fahrenheit. You can do an hour, but I personally do an overnight mash. And now it's that time to drain the main grain. First yeast addition is 2.3 ounces of Saaz hops. Second addition at 20 minutes is 1.3 ounces of Saaz hops. Whirlfloc time. Time for your Whirlfloc. Get your Whirlfloc hit. Woo! Gotta be quick. Flame out addition of 0.8 ounces of, you guessed it, Saaz hops. I'm going to wrap that sucker up for your protection and do an overnight chill. I like to add my yeast nutrient at this point. Some people do it during the boil. Your choice. And it's time to aerate the wort. Alright, I'm all set to pitch the yeast. As you can see here, I'm using Wyeast. And I'm going to go ahead and add the dry hop here as well. And you'll notice I had an issue with the Wyeast. I got it in the mail. Long story, it was dead. And so I had to pitch a different yeast as an emergency. So I am pitching verdant yeast here instead to get going. Hey everybody, welcome to the end of the video. So let me catch you up to where we're at now. I did the pour off camera. I didn't record it because there's a lot of foam, head retention off of this for some reason on my kegerator. Who knows? But at any rate, the original yeast, the Wyeast yeast that I was going to use, it died in transit, if I didn't already mention that. So I ended up using Nova Lager, which has kind of a distinct flavor, and I think that's going to turn this into probably a great lager, just not exactly the Michelob clone I was looking for. Anyway. Pretty close. Original gravity was supposed to be 1049. I got 1051. I'm happy with that. It went a little drier, but not too bad than I thought. Expected 1011. It went to 1006. So instead of being a 4.9 ABV, it jumps up to about 6.2. So a little more alcohol than I wanted in it. But, I mean, you can't tell. There's a lot of condensation on the glass that you probably can't see on camera. I do film in 4K though, so if you want to turn on your 4K on YouTube, under the settings, feel free. But otherwise, it has a, I can't even describe it. There's a smell that Nova Lager yeast has. It's not bad. It's just very particular, and it's almost like I could tell in a lineup that, yeah, that was fermented with Nova Lager. Good carbonation. No off flavors. Tastes like a Czech Pilsner. It does not taste like the Michelob. It's missing some kind of flavor in the Michelob. But that being said, this is fantastic. No off flavors. It's crystal clear. Tastes good. There is nothing wrong with this beer at all. I will make this again, actually, for sure. The only thing is I'm not personally a huge fan of Pilsner, and this is 100% Pilsner. I describe it this way, and this is just for me. Pilsner malt for me is kind of like the Swiss cheese of malt. You know how Swiss cheese is that one cheese that just tastes weird, no matter what you say or do, it's just weird, right? It doesn't taste like other cheeses. By the way, I'll show you this bottle in a second. This is a beer, this is the closest beer I've ever found to the original Michelob as far as taste and flavor, okay? It's not exactly the same, but it's as close as I could get. And this is, I don't know if you'll pick it up on the camera, this is Estrella Damm. It's from Barcelona. I'm allowed to say it like that because I have a degree in Spanish. No, I do actually, but that's not the point. This is super popular. They make another one in Galicia called Estrella Galicia. I'm not really a fan of that one, but the Estrella one in Catalonia is pretty good lager. Here, I'll leave the bottle right next to it. I've heard from somebody I talked to that Bohemia out of Mexico is similar to Michelob, but I looked for it just because I wanted to see, and I could not find it. I looked at multiple stores around here. Nobody carries it at all. So anyway, man, that is good. I gotta tell you, it's super clean. The only thing that I would knock on it, and I don't know if it's a knock, is that you can, at least for me, you can really tell that it's Nova Lager. It's not bad. It's not bad tasting at all. It just has a flavor, kind of like the Michelob. The original Michelob had a certain flavor. See, there's a lot more bittering hops in this one than mine. Mine had, I'm not going to try to, I guess almost 4.5 ounces of Saaz hops in it at various points. I don't know what they use in this one. I actually emailed them and they wouldn't tell me. It's more bitter. It's cleaner. This one, slightly more bite, but cleaner. I love mine, but I love this one too. It's just different, subtly different. So there you go. I know there's a few other people out there looking to make this and try it out. So I'm anxious to hopefully see if I can get any of them to send me even a small sample compared to what I have, especially if they've used different kind of yeast or something like that, or they made any adjustments to this recipe. So at any rate, this is a good one. I encourage you to try to make it if you want to try to make it, and maybe see if you can find that yeast still living and see if that makes a difference, using that yeast. But at any rate, I'll be back in a week like usual, and until then, keep on brewing. Salud.